In today's episode, we're diving into a topic that many survivors of narcissistic abuse face: chronic loneliness. If you're struggling with feeling alone after leaving a narcissist, stick around. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Your support helps spread awareness about narcissistic abuse. Let's be clear. Being with a narcissist often leaves you feeling incredibly lonely, even if they are physically present. Despite being there, you don't feel seen, heard, or valued. You're constantly put down and suppressed, which creates a psychological prison. Over time, this isolation makes you distance yourself from who you really are and what you truly want. Narcissists force you to become someone who serves their ego, pushing you to act against your own values. This causes a split within yourself, known as cognitive dissonance. You feel alone, confused, and discarded. You cling to even the smallest gestures of kindness from the narcissist because, deep down, you're starved for real affection. This deepens your loneliness and strengthens the trauma bond, making the thought of leaving even scarier. If you grew up with neglect or abandonment, this loneliness might feel even more intense. You may find yourself seeking out new relationships quickly, hoping someone will fill the void left by your past. However, this only leads to repeating old patterns. You might also turn to addictions like alcohol to numb the pain, but this only offers temporary relief and can make things worse over time. So, how can you handle this loneliness? Here are some steps. 1. Understanding narcissistic loneliness. Explanation: narcissistic loneliness stems from being with a narcissist who makes you feel isolated and undervalued. Despite their presence, they create an emotional void. Example: imagine you're in a relationship where your partner constantly belittles your achievements and needs, leaving you feeling unappreciated and emotionally empty. Conclusion: this type of loneliness is rooted in emotional neglect and manipulation. Solution: focus on self-care and recognize the impact of the narcissist's behavior. Seek therapy to address the emotional wounds inflicted. 2. Cognitive dissonance and loneliness. Explanation: cognitive dissonance occurs when you act against your values due to the narcissist's demands, leading to inner conflict and loneliness. Example: you might find yourself staying in a relationship that contradicts your values just to please the narcissist, causing inner turmoil and isolation. Conclusion: this internal conflict deepens your sense of loneliness and confusion. Solution: reconnect with your values and make decisions aligned with your true self. Therapy can help you resolve cognitive dissonance. 3. Trauma bonding and fear of loneliness. Explanation: trauma bonding creates a strong emotional attachment to the narcissist, making the thought of leaving seem unbearable due to fear of extreme loneliness. Example: despite knowing the relationship is harmful, you cling to it because the fear of being alone is overwhelming. Conclusion: trauma bonds make the idea of loneliness more frightening and difficult to face. 4. Childhood trauma and relationship patterns. Explanation: if you experienced neglect or abandonment in childhood, you might unconsciously seek similar patterns in relationships, leading to repeated loneliness. Example: you may find yourself attracted to partners who are emotionally unavailable. Conclusion: childhood trauma influences your relationship choices, perpetuating the cycle of loneliness. Solution: work on healing childhood wounds through therapy and develop healthier relationship patterns. 5. Emotional numbness and isolation. Explanation: narcissistic abuse often leads to emotional numbness, where you disconnect from your feelings and withdraw from social interactions. Example: after leaving a narcissistic relationship, you may struggle to feel joy or connect with others, leading to self-imposed isolation. Conclusion: emotional numbness deepens the sense of loneliness and hinders recovery. Solution: engage in activities that help you reconnect with your emotions, such as mindfulness practices or therapy. 6. Addiction as a coping mechanism. Explanation: some survivors use substances like alcohol to numb the pain of loneliness, which only offers temporary relief and can worsen the situation. Example: you might turn to drinking as a way to escape the feelings of emptiness and Isolation left after leaving a narcissist. Conclusion: addiction does not solve the underlying issues and can exacerbate feelings of loneliness. Solution: seek professional help for addiction and focus on healthier coping strategies, such as engaging in hobbies or therapy. 7. The role of self-compassion in healing. Explanation: being kind and understanding towards yourself is crucial in healing from loneliness and narcissistic abuse. Example: instead of criticizing yourself for feeling lonely, practice self-compassion and acknowledge that healing takes time. Conclusion: self-compassion helps reduce feelings of worthlessness and fosters a healthier recovery process. Solution: develop a self-compassionate mindset through affirmations, therapy, and supportive practices. 8. Building healthy boundaries. Explanation: establishing boundaries is essential for preventing future relationships from mimicking the narcissistic dynamics you experienced. Example: learning to say no and protect your personal space can help you avoid falling back into unhealthy relationship patterns. Conclusion: healthy boundaries empower you to maintain your well-being and prevent the recurrence of toxic relationships. Solution: practice setting clear boundaries in all relationships and seek guidance from a therapist if needed. 9. Seeking safe and supportive connections. Explanation: forming connections with empathetic and understanding individuals can help alleviate loneliness and provide a supportive environment. Example: connecting with friends or support groups who understand your experiences can provide comfort and reduce isolation. Conclusion: safe, supportive connections are vital for emotional healing and reducing loneliness. Solution: reach out to trusted friends, join support groups, or engage in community activities that foster positive relationships. Feel free to adapt or expand these topics based on your audience's needs and preferences. Remember, healing from narcissistic abuse takes time. It's normal for loneliness to feel intense, especially in the beginning. People might expect you to move on quickly, but take the time you need. So, give yourself the grace to heal at your own pace. Seek the right kind of support, and don't let loneliness drive you into unhealthy habits or relationships. That's it for today's episode. I hope these insights help you navigate your journey after narcissistic abuse. Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, let the healing begin and continue.